So, um, we are here on chapter 7, and this is what we are going to do here in this master data. We're going to extend the material master data. So we have some of the material. We're going to extend it into another distribution plant. So we have the road helmets currently. They're set up for Miami. We're going to extend those road helmets so that it would be able to, we could distribute them and sell them from the San Diego plant. We're also going to create a new material, which is a off-road bike. We're going to have them in two places. One is in Dallas and the other is in San Diego. We're going to create pricing conditions, and we talked a little bit about pricing conditions in chapter 5. And so what we're doing with pricing conditions is that every time we want to sell a product, we need to have a pricing condition, and that's what we're going to do today. You have done creating a vendor previously using the BP business partner screen. You did that in 4.1. We're going to repeat it again here today. You're going to create a customer, and so we've done this in 5.1. We're going to redo this again in 7.1. Now, these are things that are going to be very helpful to you and a reminder to you, because remember, your final project is going to require you to do some of these things, okay? We're going to then, in 5, 6, and 7, you're going to do some running of the report. So we've done things like this before, where we had to view inventory, we had to view warehouse, and the inventory balance. You're going to be doing this on your own, 5, 6, and 7. Before class on Thursday. You should have completed these assignments, so you're familiar with all of the procedures. And we're going to move on to do this 7.1. Even if you haven't completed 6.2 completely, we can still move forward with the master data, but you're going to have a hard time with 7.2 and so on. So let's work on this, which is extending the material master. So in this section, you're going to extend the views of the two materials to include another plant and a warehouse. The road helmet will be extended into San Diego. So currently we have it in our shell in our company, but we only have it for Miami. We're going to extend it into San Diego and will thus need a warehouse view added on to its material master. The off-road bike will be created for Dallas and San Diego. So we'll have to create it twice. Once we're going to create it, we're going to create it for San Diego. We're going to create it again, but we're going to create it for Dallas. So what does that tell you? Every time we do an extension or we have to create the material for another distribution plant or a production plant, any kind of plants that you have in your company, first you have to have the view and you have to have that organizational data. So if you recall, we talked about master data, organizational data, and transactional data. When we're working with master data, we can have the material, but we always have to have it for all of the organizational data. And so if you only have it for one organizational area, meaning only for Dallas or only for Miami, you also have to have it for the other areas. And then you'll also need to sell these materials, so pricing conditions must be defined later within the exercise. So we're going to go into SAP Easy Access menu, logistics. And so we're going to go here. We're going to go into logistics. We're going to go into materials management. We're going to go into master, material master, which is right here. We're going to go into material. We're going to go into create general. And then we're going to go into immediately, MMO1. So we're here in this create material, and I'm just going to exit out really quick. So basically, your answer for number 1 is MMO1. Number 2, what's the transaction go to change a material immediately? And so the next folder is change. And so we can go down here, it's MMO2. And then the one to display is MM03. Don't try to delete anything. It's going to be a big problem. Just leave it alone. If you made an error, all you want to do is either change it or recreate a new one. Okay? But usually you can be able to change it if you made an error. So we do MM01. And so we have this here, and we are going to use our road helmet. So if anyone remembers, our road helmet was RHMT. And then mine's was, I think for this class, 1098. So I was using 98. You use your last two digits. The industry sector was retail. Our material type is trading goods. And then we are copying from the original road helmet. So we're copying from the original road helmet. So it's going to be RHMT. And whenever it's the original, it's always 00. And so I found it. And so this is what yours should look like. Yours should have the your two digits here. So we're going to hit on continue. And we're going to deselect everything. And then we are going to highlight the following views. So we're going to have basic data 1, sales organization data 1, sales general data plant data 1, right here, sorry, it's not 1, and then purchasing, and then warehouse management 1, and then accounting 1. So just so we can repeat, it's basic data 1, sales organization data 1, sales general plant data, purchasing, warehouse, and then accounting. We're going to select the default setting tab right here. We're going to do an organizational levels at the bottom of your pop-up, and a whole bunch of stuff is going to come up for you. You notice that this time we have warehouse number, storage type, all these things, distribution channel. That's because we added this warehouse management view. So in this pop-up, we're going to enter some things in here. So we're going to put in our San Diego plant. So our San Diego plant is SD. For me, it's going to be 98. It's going to be my, your US West right here. So that's going to be UW98 for me. It's going to still be wholesale. So we're selling these items at wholesale. I'm going to find my warehouse number. And so you can actually open it up and look at the possible entries, and you can actually find your San Diego warehouse. It's going to be 1 and then your last two digits. Mine's is going to be 198. And then you're going to look up storage type. And the storage type here is going to be a shelf storage. That means these road helmets are stored on a shelf. Now you want to be careful here, because when you pull this up, you're going to see lots of different storage types available, but this is the warehouse. So we want to go back down to our warehouse, which is mine's is 198. So you're going to look for your two digits. So 198. And then I'm going to look for self-storage, which is actually 001. Then I'm going to copy from. And what I want to show you is we're always, when we're doing a copy from, we want to always look at the possible entries. And so what is this saying? For the road helmets, it's saying the only two possible entries you can have is Miami and San Diego. So since I'm doing San Diego to San Diego, I'm just going to use San Diego. But if they didn't have San Diego, I could use Miami. It's not a problem, because Miami and San Diego both are distribution centers. Okay, so if one or the other is not available, you can always copy a distribution area into another distribution area. So we're going to do San Diego, and then we're going to do the original US West, so UW00. We're going to do the warehouse. Copy from warehouse is going to be 100, and then shelf storage is going to be 001. I'm going to select the default setting here. And then I'm going to click this checkbox. And at the bottom, it's going to say the material already exists and will be extended. So here we're going to do in the create material trading good. So that's where we are. Enter in the following information. Delivering plant has to be the San Diego plant. So here in sales organization, you're going to see delivering plant. We're going to put our San Diego plant. So mine is SD98. And then it says press enter until you reach the purchasing tab. So remember, the thing with views is you have to actually view and look at each screen, otherwise it's not going to save. So remember, we don't save this button. We don't do this. We enter every screen until it tells you the purchasing screen. So we're going to get to the purchasing screen, and then it says enter in the following information for the purchasing group, which is your buyer group. So I'm going to change this to N98. And then hit enter. I say press enter until you get to the last screen reached. And I'm going to say yes. So now it's saying your material is created, and display your material to answer the following questions. It is recommended that you use a separate SAP session to display your material. So I'm going to ask everyone to do this on their own, is to display it, right? And you're going to use MMO3, right? So what are we doing here? We're going to go back. I'm going to go back to here. And I'm going to do more. I'm going to do system and then a new GUI window. So now I have two windows. And in the second one, I'm going to do MMO3. And it's going to have the display the material. And the last material that I just created will automatically populate for me. And I'm going to hit enter. And the views are already set up for me. Everything, my warehouse is set up for me. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to answer some of these questions. So I'm displaying the material that I just created. So the question is, what is the gross weight of your road helmet? Can someone tell me what the gross weight of the road helmet is?
10.
That's right. What's the material group for your road helmet?
SFTY.
Safety gear. And then what is the price per unit for your road helmet? So I'm going to enter and try to find that data. It's going to be under accounting. And the price per unit is what for the helmet? $25. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this display screen open. And I'm going to have here in one screen the MMO1 open. So I'm going to have the create material screen open. So it's saying in your original screen, in the create menu screen, enter the following information. So now we're going to create the bike, the off-road bike. So we're going to create this material, ORMN 10, and then my last two digits. It's going to be the industry sector. It's going to be mechanical engineering. The material type is going to be a finished product. And I'm copying from the original off-road bike. So this is actually going to be ORMN 1000. And then I'm going to hit continue. And all the views are going to pop up. I'm going to deselect all of them. So everything is empty. I'm going to select the following views: Basic Data 1, Sales Organization Data 1, Sales General Plant Data 1, Warehouse Management 1, and then Accounting 1. So you should have, once again, Basic Data 1. Basic Data 1, Sales Org Data 1, Sales General Plant Data, Warehouse Management 1, and then Accounting 1. And I'm going to do a default setting. I'm going to pick organizational levels here. And then I'm going to add my information. So it's San Diego 98, because I'm 98. It's still 98 as the US West. It's wholesale. It's the warehouse 198. However, now what is my storage type? It's pallet. So my storage type is a pallet. So I'm going to open that up and I'm going to search for pallet. So I'm going to do 198. And I'm going to do pallet storage, so it's actually 002. So everything here is going to be the original San Diego, the original West Coast, the wholesale, 100. And then my storage type is going to be 00. Instead of 1, it's going to be 2, 002. And then I'm going to hit default settings, it tells me to, and then I'm going to hit press enter, which is this check marks here. When I do that, it's going to say the material already exists and will be extended. So we're here, and then it says in the create material screen, enter the following information. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add in the 98 men's off-road bike. And I am going to make sure the delivering plant is the San Diego plant, which is right here. For delivering plant, I'm going to have San Diego SD 98. And then it says press enter until the last data screen is reached, pop-up opens, and then click yes. So I'm going to press enter until I get through every screen. And then when I get to the last screen, I'm going to say yes. And then it says display your material, answer the following questions. So now we have to answer 7, 8, and 9. So I'm going to open up my other screen, and I'm going to go to MMO3, because that's what it means to display. And the last item that I created is going to open up. And I'm going to open this and save, enter, because I'm just doing display. And so what is the gross weight of the men's off-road bike?
Uh, 9460 grams.
Okay, very good. And then the material group for your men's off-road bike is listed here. So you can see when we open it up, bikes means that it's finished bikes. So your material group is bikes, finished bikes, right? And then what's the price per unit? So we know that that's in the accounting. So I can go straight to accounting and I can see what my standard price is. It's $1,200. All right, so now we're going to go into step 1.136, and we're back in the create material. So I have that in my other screen, which is right here. And I'm in the create material screen. If you needed to get back there, you can do MM01 from the SAP Easy Access menu, and you'll get to this screen. So now what we're doing is we're going to create the men's bike again, but you can see we're doing it for Dallas. So that's where we produce the bike. And that's why the views that we need now are going to be MRP and work scheduling and costing, right? We need the storage one because the storage one is where we're storing it from. Okay. So we're going to create the bike again, ORMN 1098. It's still mechanical engineering. The material type is still finished product, and we're still copying from the original. So we're still doing all of this. We're going to hit continue. We're going to deselect all of these views, and we're going to select the views that we need here for Dallas. So basic data 1, MRP 1, because that's the view that we need for production. Work scheduling view, general plant data storage 1, accounting 1, and then costing 1. I'm going to do a default settings for that. I'm then going to click the organizational levels. And we have everything here. But now I'm picking Dallas plant. So I'm going to pick my DL98. And my finished good is going to be FG. Oops, 98. And then I'm copying from the original Dallas. So if I look at my possible entries that I can copy from, Dallas is there, so is San Diego. Well, I'm trying to copy into a Dallas, so I'm not going to copy from San Diego because that's going to give me problems because I'm copying from a distribution plant into a production plant. And the reason that's wrong is because San Diego is never going to have those views that I need, which are MRP, work scheduling, costing, because it's only set up for the original Dallas plant. So whenever you're copying into a production plant, you can only copy from a production plant. If you're copying into a distribution plant, you can only copy from a distribution plant. So since in this study you have 2 distribution plants, you can copy from Miami or San Diego, but when you're copying from production, you can only copy from Dallas. So we're going to select the Dallas one. And then we have the original finished good here. So we're good. We're going to click on the default settings. And then I'm going to click on this check box here. It says the material already exists and will be extended. So now you can see everything is set up for the Dallas plant. And what we're going to do is hit enter until we get to the last screen. And you're about to exit, and then you hit yes, and that's it right there. And now we're going to go and create pricing conditions. So we've done this before, and so every time we have to assign a selling price to all of our materials. Notice that the selling price is different from the moving price, which is what you guys you identified earlier in the master data, which means our bike is about $1,200, right? But now we're talking about what are we going to sell it for? So we always want to sell a little bit higher, right? So let's get back out here and go into logistics again, and then go into sales and distribution here. And then we're going to go into master data, conditions, and then create. And so we're going into VK31. And so you guys have seen this before where we have the create condition prices. And so in this screen, follow the navigation path. We're going to go into prices and then material prices here. And we're going to get here and it says in the create condition records overview, double click on this title here, which is right here. So I'm going to double click it. And it says in the create condition records fast entry, so I'm here, enter the following information. So my sales organization is US West. So my sales organization is going to be US West, so UW, and then 98 for me. You guys have your own 2 digits. And my distribution channel is going to be wholesale. So I know that's WH. And then it says in the material with release status, so right here, section, enter the following information. So I'm going to look at this table a little bit, and it tells me I have to really have 2 lines. So something has to be in the first line, some things have to be in the second line. It tells me where my attributes need to be, so condition, material, and it looks like I have to find amount and unit. Okay, so I'm going to come here to where it says condition, and I'm going to put price, PR00, and then my material is going to be my men's off-road bike, so RORMN 1098 is my bike. I'm going to go over slightly. And my amount is going to be now 2,400. And my unit is going to be USD. And then on my next line, I'm going to put in price again. So PR00. I'm going to put in my road helmet, so RHMT 1098. And there we go. And this one is going to be 50 and USD. Press enter. So I pressed enter. And then, so it's PR00, not PR00. So it's PR00. So I did that. So the description kind of pulls up. And once I'm done with that and everything looks right, I'm going to hit save. And it says condition record saved. Now I'm going to create the vendor. So I'm going to hit exit. And I'm going to go inside my SAP main screen in the command field. I'm going to type BP. And so I'm going to be in this thing that says maintain business partner. And what we're doing here is in this section, you will now create your vendor to procure from later in the exercise. So in one of the labs, we're going to procure from the vendor. So that's what we're doing now is we're going to create our vendor. So you guys remember this search, we're going to do a business partner. We're going to do by vendor number. So right here in their drop down, we're going to look here and say vendor number. And then under supplier, we're going to put in 1090 and then our last 2 digits. So mine is 98. And I'm going to hit start. And then I'm going to find my business partner 809098, which will be Green Blazers. I'm going to double click on that so it pops up here. So I'm going to open this up a little bit here.
Guys, I have a question because I don't have the supplier field on my display organization. I'm sorry, on the maintain business partner.
You don't have what?
The supplier. I only have the find, buy, and insert terms.
So you have find by business partner, and then underneath where it says buy, do a drop down and look for vendor number.
Okay. Okay, I see it now. Thank you.
Your last two digits. So 1090, your last two digits, hit start, and you'll find your business partner. Double click on it and it will plop up like this. You should be under something that says display organization. If it says display, we want to make it into change. And the way we do that is we have this little icon with the eyeglasses. So click on that and it allows you to switch from display to change. So now we should be under the change organization. And you should be under business partner number here. And then you have change and BP role here. And so you currently should have business partner general. We want to do the drop down and in alphabetical order, look up FI vendor, FI vendor, FLVN00 defined. When you do that, all of this stuff will change. You should now be under change organization and then role FI vendor. Right underneath that, you'll see this little icon for company code. So I want you to click on the company code. And so you guys should remember this. This is something that we've done. And you should have one of these couple of scroll bars that allow you to kind of just roll around. But right now it's kind of set up for US01. You can see it's grayed out. So we're not going to be able to change that, but we have to change it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into company codes right here. And the pop-up will show up like this, and you only have it for US00. So what we're going to do is we're going to create one for our company code. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that create button here, and it will open up a row for us. We're going to do our company code, so US, and your two digits. And then you're going to click on the supplier icon here. You're then going to select, using this radio button, your company code, and you're going to click on adopt. When you click on adopt, now you will see that it's your company in here instead of the US00. And all of these items now are gone. So we have to add them in. So here under reconciliation account, right? So under vendor account management, so that's where we are. Vendor account management. Under the reconciliation account, we're going to find payables trade account. So I'm going to look that up. It's right there. And for sort key, it is going to be posting date. Select the vendor payment transactions, which is going to be this tab here, and enter the following information. Payment terms, you're going to do pay immediately due net. So payment terms, we're going to do pay immediately due net. And then we're going to double check the invoice. So double check invoice, it says selected. So right here, we're going to do selected. And then payment block is going to be free for payment. So it already is that, but I'm just going to double check it. And it's right there. And then it says click save. So I'm going to click save. And then it says your changes have been made. In the change organization role at the top, role FI vendor up here, it says enter the following information. So I'm going to go here at the top and see where it says change in BP role. And I'm going to change it to vendor purchasing. So I'm going to go alphabetical order and look up V and find vendor purchasing, FLVNO01 defined. So I'm going to find that. When I do that, the whole screen changes a little bit for me. In the change organizational role, so I'm here in change organization, the role is vendor. I'm going to click on this little icon here that says purchasing. When I do that, notice it comes up for US 00. So we need to do it for our company, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to select that purchasing organization. So you can see mine's is kind of hard to see. So I'm going to use one of my scroll bars here and just move it over a little bit. And I'm going to click on this purchasing organization. When I see that, I see that my company's not in here. So I'm going to click on that create button. And a row opens up and I'm going to do US 98 for me. I'm then going to use the gray box to highlight and I'm going to hit transfer. And when I do that, I now get my company added in here. I'm going to scroll over so I can make sure that I'm in the purchasing data tab. Because under the purchasing data tab, enter the following information. So under order currency, which is kind of up a little bit. So just make your cursor, if my cursor was down here, I just scrolled up to the top. Okay, so you can scroll all the way to the top. And you're going to have USD. Then you're going to do payment terms is going to be pay immediately. So I'm going to find that. Incoterms is going to be free on board. So Incoterms, not Incoversions, Incoterms is going to be FOB. And then this is going to be San Diego. So this is normal text. So I have to type this in. So I'm going to type in San Diego. And then it says planned delivery time. So I'm going to go down a little bit and see if I can find planned delivery time. And I find that right there. So I'm going to put 0 there. And then I'm going to find, it says click save. So after you put the planned delivery time 0, I'm going to hit save. And it says changes have been saved.
What section is under for the planned delivery time? Mine's scrolling really fast for some reason.
It would be under this rules right here for default values for material, planned delivery time.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now we're going to create customer. So in this section, you create your customer to sell to later in the exercise. However, you will create customers in 2 different sales areas. If you recall for the fulfillment chapter, each sales area consists of a sales organization, a distribution channel, and a division. So remember, in this section, you're going to sell both the accessories, which is the road helmet, And then we're also going to be selling bikes, which is actually from the bike division. So we actually have to set up a customer who's able to purchase accessories as well as bikes, right? Because there's two types of divisions. So we're actually going to require to define the customer in both the accessory division and the bike division. However, the sales organization and the distribution channels will remain the same for both materials. So we're going to go back out, or if you're already in the BP section, then you're fine here. And what we're going to do is right here for that search, we're going to do business partner. We're now going to do, instead of vendor number, we're going to do customer number. And customer number, we're going to search by 1, 0, 0, and then our 2 digits. And then we're going to hit start. When we do that, Silicon Valley Bikes should show up. The partner number is 710, and then our 2 digits. So I'm going to double click on that. And when I do that, you'll see my business partner information changes. And so we are now in 7100. If you were in display, then you can just use that little eyeglasses icon to switch over to the change organization section. In the change organization screen, enter in the following information. So right down here, we are going to write down some information that is based on this table here. Our search term is going to be 098. The language is going to be English. I think language is all the way down here a little bit further, where language is English. The postal code is a little bit weird, but we're going to go with it. The postal code is 30324. And the city corresponding to the customer is not going to be Palo Alto, it's going to be Atlanta. And we are going to hit save. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're still in the change organization, and we're still in our company here. But here where it says change in BP role, we're going to change that to FI customer. So it's in alphabetical order. So we're going to go down to FI. And then we're doing customer defined. And when we do this, a whole bunch of stuff comes up. And we're going to click on this company code right here. When we do that, you'll notice that the company code here is blank. What we're going to do is we're going to click on this company code button, and we're going to add in our company here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on this create button. An empty row will open up. We're going to do US 98. We're going to click on customer. And then we're going to click this icon on like so. And we're going to do adopt. And so you can see, I'm going to scroll back this way. Now this is all grayed out, but it's US and our 2 digits. So now we're on step 1.4.13. And so under customer account management tab, enter in the following information. So I'm in that customer account tab. I'm in reconciliation account. I'm going to find trading accounts receivable. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to do trading accounts receivable. And my sort key is going to be posting date. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to do posting date 001. Number 11, what's the reconciliation account name? So that's trade accounts receivable. So step 1.4.14, we're going to select the customer payment transaction. So that's this tab right here. We're going to enter in the following information. So we're going to do payable immediately for payment terms. And then payment block is going to be free for payment. And then we're going to hit save. So now we're going to go into sales and distribution. So we're going to change the BP role from the drop down here, and we're going to go into customer. So we're going to go up to customer FLC U01 defined. And when we do that, everything changes again. And so for me, my screen kind of decreased a little bit, and I was trying to find sales and distribution, and I couldn't find it. So usually they're all out here like this, but I couldn't find it. So I just clicked on this more, and I found my sales and distribution icon. So I'm going to click on that. When I do that, I actually see all of my information. I can see that there's nothing filled out for any sales organization. So I'm going to scroll over and I'm going to click on sales area. And a pop-up is going to show up here. And you can see all of these are more for the US West, but here's internet and then wholesale, and everyone has an accessories and a bikes. In this case, we don't need it to create for the distribution channel for the internet. We just need wholesale, but we do need it for accessories and bikes. So we're going to click on create here, and a row will open up, and we're going to do UW 2 digits, wholesale, and we're going to start with accessories. So AS for accessories. We're going to highlight it with the radio button, and we're going to click on transfer. Under the orders tab, we're going to enter in the following information. Orders, the sales district is going to be Northern Region. The order probability is going to be 100. The currency is USD. The price group is going to be bulk buyer. The customer price procedure is going to be standard. And the customer stats group is going to be A material. Then we're going to click on the shipping tab right here. And we're going to do under delivery priority, we're going to put normal item. Delivering plant is important. So here's that delivering plant. And we're going to put San Diego, SD, and then your 2 digits. Shipping conditions right down here is going to be standard. And then max part deliveries is going to be 3. We're then going to select the billing tab here. And we're going to enter in some stuff here. So Incoterms is down here, not on the versions. Incoterms here it's going to be FOB. The location, we're going to type in San Diego. Payment terms is going to be pay immediately due net. So we're going to find that. And then we're going to do account assessment group customer, which is going to be here. It's going to be domestic revenues. And then all three of these are 0, 0, 0 because they're all three exempt. So now before we switch the areas, I am going to do a quick save. So it's saved for accessories. And now it's saying we want to switch areas, okay? So we're going to click on the switch area in the customer change sales area, which is right here. And so we're going to click on this switch area. And then we're going to click on sales area. And then once we click on sales area, now we're going to have to create something for bikes. And so now we're going to create for this. So we're going to click on the create button. So we're going to click on that. It opens something up. So we're going to do UW 98. We're going to do warehouse. Oops. And we're going to do bikes. And so I'm going to find that. And then I'm going to highlight. I'm going to highlight it using my radio button, and I'm going to hit transfer. And everything transfers over. It says under the orders tab. So I was in the billing tab. You can see that. So I'm going to move over to the orders tab right here. I'm going to scroll all the way up because I was kind of in the middle of the screen. And I'm going to enter in all that information again now for the bikes wholesale. So the sales district is going to be Northern Virginia again. I mean, Northern region. So that's that. My order probability is 100. My currency is USD. My price group is going to be bulk buyer. So that means they have to buy in bulk. This determines which pricing procedure. So we're going to do the standard pricing procedure. And then the customer system updates is going to be per every material that they get. So A material. There we go. And now I'm going to go under the shipping tab. So that's this tab here. And I'm going to do normal delivery for delivery priority. Go in here. I'm going to do normal delivery. Delivering plant is going to be San Diego 98. I'm going to be doing shipping conditions here. I'm going to find standard. And then max part delivery is going to be 3. Then we're going to select billing tab right here. And we're going to do Incoterms, again, free on board. So we're here, Incoterms, and we're going to do FOB. We're going to do Incoterms location. We're going to do San Diego. We're going to go down to where it says payment terms. I'm going to find pay immediately due net. And then I'm going to do account assignment group right here is going to be domestic revenue. And then all of these are exempt already because they're 0. And then I'm going to hit save. Okay. So now all that's left is you doing the view material inventory, view warehouse inventory, and view inventory balance. So you're going to review the inventory balance for the trading goods before it goes into storage. Note that this process can also be used to review the inventory balance of semi-finished goods and finished goods. This perspective for this step is inventory management. So you're going to have to do this a few times in your other exercises, so you want to be able to understand it. So you want to do that. You want to then view the warehouse inventory, what it's like to look inside your warehouse, and then how to look at inventory balance. So you're going to be running those 3 reports yourself and answering some questions. Okay? So that's all that I have here for today's class.